Hello everyone, in this video, I will guide you step by step through the complete process of connecting RevenueCat to App Store Connect. If you are building an iOS app and using RevenueCat to manage your in-app purchases, at some point, you will need to properly connect it with App Store Connect. Maybe you were testing with a local setup or just exploring the dashboard, and now you want everything fully linked so your products sync correctly between Apple and RevenueCat. We will start from the RevenueCat dashboard. Open your browser and go to the RevenueCat dashboard. Once you log in, the first thing you need is a project. If you have not created one yet, click on Create a New Project. Give your project a clear name. For example, you can name the project Test Project. Choose the category that best matches your app. Then select the platform. Since we are working with iOS, we choose the native Apple platform. After creating the project, RevenueCat will guide you through some initial steps. You may see options related to entitlements and products. An entitlement in RevenueCat represents access to a feature in your app. For example, if you have a premium version of your app, you might create an entitlement called Pro Access. Later, you will link your in-app purchase product to this entitlement. For this tutorial, we will focus on a simple non-consumable in-app purchase, such as a lifetime unlock. Subscriptions follow a similar process, but the setup inside App Store Connect is slightly different. Once your project is created, go to the dashboard and navigate to the App Settings or App Configuration area. You will find a section where you can add a new app configuration. Select the Apple platform. You will now see fields that ask for your bundle ID and some API keys. The bundle ID must exactly match the bundle identifier from your Xcode project. Open your project in Xcode. Select your main app target and look at the bundle identifier field. It might look something like com.yourname.projectname. Copy that exact value and paste it into the bundle ID field inside RevenueCat. This must match perfectly, or the integration will not work. Now we need two important keys from App Store Connect. One is the App Store Connect API key, and the other is the in-app purchase key. To get these, open a new tab and go to App Store Connect. Log in with your Apple developer account. Inside App Store Connect, go to Users and Access. At the top, you will see different tabs. Click on the Integrations tab. In this section, you can create API keys. Click on Create API Key. Give it a clear name, such as your project name. For the role, select App Manager. This role gives enough permissions for RevenueCat to access product and transaction data. After creating the key, you will be able to download a PP8 file. This file can only be downloaded once, so make sure you save it securely on your computer. You will also see a key ID and an issuer ID. Copy the key ID and keep the issuer ID ready because we will need both. Now go back to RevenueCat. In the App Store Connect API section, upload the EP8 file that you just downloaded. RevenueCat will automatically read the key ID from the file. Then paste the issuer ID into the correct field. Next, we need the vendor number. To find it, go back to App Store Connect. From the main dashboard, go to Agreements, Tax and Banking, or Payments and Financial Reports, depending on your layout. In the Financial section, you will see your vendor ID or vendor number. Copy that value and paste it into the vendor number field inside RevenueCat. Now we will create the in-app purchase key. In App Store Connect, go back to Users and Access. This time, make sure you are in the correct section for generating keys related to in-app purchases. Create a new key, give it a name, and generate it. Again, download the PP8 file immediately because you cannot download it later. Return to RevenueCat and upload this new P8 file in the in-app purchase key section. For the issuer ID, you can use the same issuer ID that you copied earlier because it belongs to your Apple developer account. If you are enrolled in the Apple Small Business Program, there will be an option to enter the enrollment date. If this applies to you, enter the correct date. If not, you can leave it as the default. After filling all required fields, click Save Changes. RevenueCat will now attempt to validate the connection. If everything is correct, your App Store integration will show as active. Now that the connection between RevenueCat and App Store Connect is complete, we need to create products in App Store Connect. In App Store Connect, go to Apps. Select your app from the list. Make sure this app was created earlier and that its bundle ID matches the one used in Xcode and RevenueCat. Inside your app, go to the In-App Purchases section. Click on Create New In-App Purchase. You will see different types: consumable, non-consumable, auto-renewable subscription, and others. If you are creating a lifetime unlock, choose non-consumable. Consumables are items like currencies and games that users can buy multiple times. Non-consumables are one-time purchases that permanently unlock features. Enter a reference name. This name is for your internal use and will appear in reports. Choose a clear naming format. Next, create a product ID. This is very important. The product ID must be unique and should follow a clear naming convention. For example, com.yourname.projectname.lifetime. This product ID will later be used inside RevenueCat and your app code. After creating the product, set the price. Choose the appropriate price tier from the list. You can also configure localization, description, and review information. Some metadata fields are required before you can submit the app for review, but for syncing with RevenueCat, the product just needs to exist. Once the product is created, go back to the RevenueCat dashboard. Navigate to the product catalog section. Click on New Product and choose to import from App Store. RevenueCat will fetch products directly from App Store Connect. You should now see the product you just created. Select it and import it. If you see a missing metadata warning, that is usually because the product has not yet been fully configured or submitted in App Store Connect. This does not stop you from testing in sandbox mode. After importing the product, link it to an entitlement. For example, link the lifetime product to a Pro Access entitlement. This means that whenever a user buys this product, RevenueCat will grant that entitlement to the user. Next, create an offering. An offering is a collection of products that you display in your app's paywall. For example, you might create a default offering and include your lifetime product in it. Later, inside your SwiftUI code, you will fetch this offering and display it to users. Now go to the API key section in RevenueCat. You will see a public SDK key. This key is what you use inside your iOS app. Copy it and add it to your app initialization code in Xcode. When your app launches, you initialize RevenueCat with this public key so it can communicate with the RevenueCat servers. At this point, the full connection is complete. App Store Connect is linked with RevenueCat using API keys. Your in-app purchase products are created in App Store Connect. Those products are imported into RevenueCat. They are linked to entitlements, and your app uses the public SDK key to communicate with RevenueCat. If you want to create subscriptions instead of non-consumables, the steps are similar. In App Store Connect, you would create an auto-renewable subscription inside a subscription group. Then you define the duration, such as monthly or yearly. After that, you import the subscription product into RevenueCat in the same way and link it to an entitlement. Always make sure your product IDs match exactly between App Store Connect and RevenueCat. Even a small typo will prevent proper syncing. Also make sure your bundle ID is consistent across Xcode, App Store Connect, and RevenueCat. Before releasing your app, test everything in the sandbox environment using a sandbox Apple ID. This helps confirm that purchases are working, entitlements unlock correctly, and receipts are validated properly. That is the complete process of connecting RevenueCat to App Store Connect and preparing your products for use inside your iOS application. If you follow each step carefully and make sure all IDs match, the integration will work smoothly. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.